Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Techno Talks here. So in today's video, we're actually going to be unboxing and checking out the Nord N200. So this is their new Nord series of phones, and this is basically their budget series. This phone actually retails for $239, I believe, and it's a really nice price for a phone. However, you do lose out on a lot of things. But I will have to go out and test it out first to actually give my comments on it. So let's go ahead and unbox this. So we have some pretty nice packaging. We have this plastic wrapper around it, which I'll be taking off right away. We have this little pull tab, and just go ahead and get this plastic off. They do not use their red accent on their Nord series. They actually use blue instead of red. I actually do like the red more. However, I guess you are getting the budget version, and they wanted to make some differences between each other, so they actually went ahead and did this. So let's go ahead and check out the box first. We can see N200. This looks very similar to the other Nord that I actually unboxed a couple months back. We get a OnePlus logo right here. It's in a blue accent. It actually changes colors as the light hits it in a different way, if you can see that. And the left side just says OnePlus Nord N200 5G, so this does have 5G compatibility, and it says OnePlus on the right side. The back portion just talks about some of the things. So OnePlus Nord N200 5G, we have 4 GB of RAM, and we have 64 GB of storage. It's the blue quantum color, and let's go ahead and check this out. So that's basically gonna be it for those. Let's go ahead and open this up. Boom. And let's check the back. Nothing here, so let's go and pop this to the side, and we can immediately see our phone right here, which I'll be taking out. Let's put that to the side and check out what's inside of this box. So let's see if we actually get a charger and a power brick, and we do. So OnePlus still keeps one in here. We get a charging brick. It's a USB-A charging brick. Not sure how many watts this is, and I don't think it actually writes it on there, but I will actually research this later on. So we do get a red cable. Honestly, it's really nice that they put a red cable, but it would actually be better if they put a blue cable, since it is their Nord series and their color for the Nord series is blue. But let's go ahead and put all this back. We don't need any of this. And let's go ahead and close this back up. So just plop that to the side. We do have our phone right here, and we have this nice little packaging right here. So take this off if I can manage to. You know what? I think I can actually just slide it through. So I can do that as well. And boom. So you can actually just slide it through. Just put that to the side, move this away, and we can immediately see our phone. So the color actually looks really nice. So we do get a plastic bag, which is okay. I do have an S21, as you guys might know, and that has a plastic bag. So I'm kind of used to it by now, and it doesn't really bother me. We get a little sticker right here, not too important. We have our OnePlus logo right there, and this actually, honestly, I actually really love this color. This is probably one of my favorite colors on a phone right now. The camera actually is made out of glass, so it has a different blue, and that actually looks really nice as well. So overall, the look so far and the color they've used is actually really nice. So let me go ahead and take this sticker off so you can see it better. Let me go ahead and get this off if I can. And boom. So got the sticker off. Let me get it wiped down real quick. And here you guys go. So just got a little sticker thing right there, but that is okay. Oh, I can wipe that down later, but this color right here actually looks really nice. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the specs real quick. We do get 4 GB of RAM, as I said, and we do get a Snapdragon 480. So we don't get a really nice chipset. However, you are only paying $240 for this phone, and honestly, I guess that is a pretty reasonable chipset for this phone. You do get a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and that's actually really nice. So battery life was one of the concerns for me for a lot of phones, and I used the Google Pixel 4a, the 5a before this, and that had great battery life. I could last almost 2 days with that phone, and I'm wondering what I can get with this, especially since it has a lower end chipset and has lower end specs, so it might actually use or consume battery less than what the other phones do. And since this does have a bigger battery than that, I feel like I might get a lot of power from this. So we do have a triple camera setup. We get a main 13 megapixel camera, and then we get a macro, which is only 2 megapixels, and the macro camera really doesn't help with anything. Honestly, at that resolution, they just add it to have an extra camera, so it just looks better on the spec sheet, I guess. Other than that, we get another camera, and that's going to be 2 megapixels, and that's the depth camera, so that doesn't matter as well. And overall, the only camera that actually matters is going to be the normal camera, the wide angle camera, and as I said, that is a 13 megapixel camera. So we do get one selfie camera right there. It's on the left side right there. It's a little cutout, and that's going to be 16 megapixels, I believe, and it actually can record 1080p 30 fps, so nothing above that, which is kind of a disappointment. And also the main camera records at 1080p 30 fps as well, so I guess that's what you get with a lower end phone, which is only $240. And I guess that is okay. You do get 5G, and that's pretty nice. You get USB-C, but it is a 2.0 adapter, so it's not as fast as the newer ones. And that's basically gonna be about it for the specs. We do get 18-watt charging, which is really nice to know. You can charge up your phone pretty fast. I wish they had a faster charger, since you guys know OnePlus is already capable of doing that. However, I guess that's what they decide to put in the box. So let's go ahead and turn this on real quick. So we do have a fingerprint sensor, I believe, on the power button, which is really nice to know, because my S10e actually had that as well, and I really enjoyed using it like that. So just powering on, and already I can tell you that the haptics aren't really good. The vibration didn't feel the best, and it's kind of weird. That happened with the other Nord as well. However, this one is actually an improvement, I guess. Before that, let's go ahead and check these out. So we get this little pamphlet right here with the SIM ejection tool, and then we get safety information, so you can just put this back. Nothing too important. The usual stuff that you always get in your phones. And other than that, let's just go ahead and wait for this phone to turn on. So overall, I actually like the design right now. It looks pretty nice. However, as you can see, the camera cutout does look a little weird. It's a little larger than normal, and then we also get this large bump, which is actually annoying as well. So let me go ahead and get this set up real quick, and I will actually get back to y'all in a second. So here we go. I actually got the phone set up real quick. Didn't do too much. I didn't really download any apps. I just went ahead and went through the normal setup, put in my email and whatnot, because I kind of feel like I won't be using this as a daily driver. So let's go ahead and actually check out some of the settings on this thing. So let's go to our settings, and that's not how we do it. We have to swipe down, go here, and actually go down. So let's go ahead and check out our display settings. If you guys can see that really well. So let me bring it closer, and in our display settings we can see our adaptive brightness, which I'll be turning off right now. You can actually turn that on, and it'll actually lower the brightness and make it higher depending on where you are and depending on the light scene that you're in. Our color balance, we can actually change that, so we can make it warmer or we can make it cooler. I'm gonna go to keep that in the middle as well. Our sleep is going to be the inactivity time, so after inactivity, how long it'll take until it turns off, and I always put this on the longest amount of time. 30 minutes is pretty nice. I wish they had never, like on iOS, but even my Samsung doesn't have it. It only has 10 minutes at most, which is kind of annoying. So some other settings, advanced refresh rate is something that I would like to show you guys. So this phone actually supports 90 Hertz, which is really nice to know. Even on a budget phone at this price, having a 90 Hertz display is actually really nice. And we can actually get 60 Hertz as well. So it is not an adaptive screen refresh rate. However, you still do get the 90 Hertz at all times. So front camera display area, you can actually hide the front camera, so a couple of basic settings. And what this will do is basically put the phone so it actually doesn't show the camera on the display, and it'll actually lower the screen down, and you'll actually lose some screen real estate. However, some people might like this. This looks very similar to a Google Pixel 4 and 4 XL, and some people might like it, some people might not. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show the front camera, since I actually am used to it and it doesn't bother me. Let's go ahead and go back. Apps to display in full screen, so you can actually have apps. Some apps actually cut off right here, and you can actually choose which apps don't cut off, so it could go above the camera and everything as well, which is really nice to know. So vision comfort, manual, turn on automatically, so this will actually change the color temperature based on the time and also the area that you're in, so that'll actually sense it with the camera. I'm not sure how well it works, however they do have it. We have our dark mode settings, so you can turn it on automatically. You can actually turn it manually, which I usually use manual, but let's go ahead and keep it on light mode for the sake of the video. We have our ambient display, so you can lift up display to actually wake the display up. We have our contextual info, so music, upcoming event, display messages. You can actually display them or you can actually hide them. And then horizon light, I'm not actually sure what this is. I think this might be the notification light. So on Samsung, that's actually called edge lighting. On here, I guess it's called that. We have our font size. We can actually change that. Display scaling, status bar. We can show our battery bar, show battery percentage, display network speed, so I can actually turn that on and we can see our network speed. That's actually a nice thing if you're playing games competitively on a phone. However, I'm not sure how well you can play games with this, so let's just go ahead and go back. Auto rotate screen, so that's if you want to have it rotate automatically, which I will not be keeping on. And let's go ahead and go down. So buttons and gestures, navigation bar and gestures. Right here we have our hide the bottom bar, so I could actually hide that bottom bar, but I will actually keep it if I can. We have our back, home, recent, so this is our normal navigation system right here. As you can see with our buttons, the 3 buttons, and some people like that still, but I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it on gestures for now. Hide the bottom bar, we already talked about that, and then it gives you instructions. Quick gestures, so 3 fingers screenshot, double tap to wake, music control, and all this other stuff that you can set up, which is actually really nice. Double click the power button. You can actually enable some apps to open up when you double click the power button. Right now it's on camera and I will go ahead and keep it there, but you can actually set it so it doesn't do anything if you do accidentally click your power button twice. The power menu, so when you press and hold it down, right now it actually shows you the power menu. However, you can actually keep it on Google Assistant if you want, so you can actually use your voice assistant after you hold it down if you don't want to actually say the word, which I will not be saying, so it doesn't wake it up for some of y'all. We have our customization, which OnePlus actually does really well. They actually enable you to change a lot of things, so your icon pack, your font, your system icons, accent color, and they also give you all these other customization options, so canvas, wallpapers, clock, ambient display, horizon light. And we do have an always on display on this phone, which is nice to know as well. So security and lock screen, I did not set it up. However, we do get a fingerprint and face unlock. The face unlock is a 2D face unlock and I don't think I will trust it too much. And then our fingerprint unlock is actually going to be this one right here. So it's on our power button, which is really nice to know. We have some other things, so device admin apps, encryption, whatnot, and those aren't really too important. So let's go ahead and go back. Our privacy, permissions and data, and then our battery right here. So our battery, it says, should last about 12:45 p.m. So that's going to be 12:45 in the afternoon. We have our battery saver, battery optimization. So you can actually apply this manually to all your apps, which I will not actually be talking about. So optimize charging pattern according to your usage. So I guess it'll optimize it. Let's say you keep it on charge at night only, and it'll actually optimize it for that. And then it also gives you like the last full charge screen usage since full charge. So that was 60 days ago. I guess that was before they actually put this in the box and got it ready. We do have our storage right here, and we're actually already using almost 20 gigs, which is kind of weird. So we have our storage manager and everything, so I guess it deletes apps that aren't used. However, that's actually really weird since we only get 64 gigabytes anyways, already using 17.68 without me even downloading anything on this phone yet. So some other stuff, we have our accounts, digital well-being. This is going to be like our screen time and some parental controls if you guys want to know about that. I usually just keep it on our screen time, the digital well-being. Utilities, system, about phone. So let's go to our system and actually check our system update. So we do have an Oxygen OS 11.0.2.0, which I will do this later on. However, it is on Android 11, I believe. So there's this thing called RAM boost. That'll actually optimize RAM utilization based on your usage. So it's another adaptive setting, which I'll be keeping on as well. And that's basically gonna wrap it up for this phone. So nothing too serious about this. There are some really nice features like 90 Hertz and some other OnePlus features that you get on other OnePlus phones. However, other than that, for the price point, actually for $240, this is actually a really nice phone. The chipset may be a concern to some people. it is a little slow and lagging. You can already tell that, and having the 90 hertz is actually really nice on this, because I can't really imagine how this would look on 60 hertz. So that's basically gonna wrap it up. As I said, some things that I really do love are gonna be the design, and I already talked about this when I first unboxed it. This actually looks really nice, this color and design overall, and having a plastic back doesn't concern me anymore. Honestly, it's more durable, and I'm actually used to the feeling. It does have a matte feeling on this phone as well, and the color pattern is really nice, so it does not bother me. So overall, my thoughts on this device: it's honestly really good for the price. However, I don't think you can do really heavy gaming on this, like playing COD on max settings, and I'm definitely sure you can't play like Genshin Impact if you guys do play any of those types of games, any hardcore games. And so this phone is not for gamers, that's obvious. But if you're just using your phone a daily usage, like on Instagram, social media, and not too much gaming, then this phone is honestly a really nice phone to have, especially with that big battery, so you can actually have this on for a really long time. I will have to test it out and let you guys know, maybe in my update video 1 week later. And so that's basically gonna wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next one.